Previously, on The Last Door. After escaping from his burial, DeVitt finds himself in a cellar of London's darkest slum, the Old Nickel Rookery. In his pocket, he has a ticket for a show called The Four Witnesses. DeVitt walks through the misty streets, following a strange man who seems to guide him. He learns the legend of Simurgh, the King of Birds. Following its trail through a dreamlike land of fog, DeVitt finally meets Alexander, a member of the secret group DeVitt and his friends had at school. Alexander welcomes DeVitt and speaks of an entity they called the Bird that has been calling them ever since the experiment they conducted back then. There is no turning back. I have made my mind. I'm ready. Go on. Do it. Do it. Do it! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final episode of The Last Door, Season 1. Hope you guys have been enjoying the journey so far, as we uncover the mystery surrounding the death of Anthony Beechworth and Jeremiah DeVitt's past. I know I have been enjoying sharing this experience with you, of course, and hopefully, just hopefully, you get to see a little more and have some of our questions answered. But for now, though, there's only one more thing for us to do, and that's to go through the last door. Can you see all these stars twinkling in the black outer abyss? All the constellations traced by human eyes in long-distant eras? Look now to the forest in the valley, to the old tower, from the last tree in the distance to the stars in the sky, and even the stones beneath our feet are just silhouettes that hide the truth from our poor senses. Ancient shadows that hang over the veil that hides the world, as if it were the curtain of a theater. The veil separates the truth from the lie. The veil is a place, DeVitt. A place of mist. Anthony's great abilities brought you here, but his influence will soon fade away. The mask of lies will descend over your eyes once again. You must find the door, as I did. The door that gives passage through the veil. Open it, and we will walk together beyond the mist. I suppose you are wondering why I called you so urgently. I cannot deny it. Your letter was truly mysterious. I have been traveling, Doctor, to Scotland. Have you heard about the massacre of St. Gall? Why, yes, the tragic event has been the continued object of speculation and grim rumor in every newspaper in England. For weeks now, pamphlets have claimed that all kinds of macabre things took place. But I don't understand. How is this all connected with my patient? He was there. I am afraid he is one of the victims. Dear God! Are you telling me my patient has been murdered? Murdered? Thankfully, no. Please excuse me for alarming you. I did not mean to give this impression. Herr DeVitt was attacked, but survived. What happened to him, then? It seems the criminal was caught by Herr DeVitt in the midst of the act. Then he tried to do the same thing to DeVitt that he had done to the others. Fortunately, the nuns arrived in time to unearth him from the coffin. Herr DeVitt was hospitalized. The nurses report that he remained unconscious for an entire day. What was DeVitt doing there? Many years ago, the St. Gall Hospital was a boarding school. It appears that both your patient and Mr. Beechworth spent a part of their youth together there. We can assume that Herr DeVitt was investigating something. He believed he had found a clue related to his friend's death. What was the cause of those awful deaths? No one knows for sure. The victims were inflicted with terrible wounds. All of them had an expression of utmost terror on their faces. I suspect you did not find Mr. DeVitt in the hospital. Indeed, he was already gone by the time I arrived. I have not been able to determine his whereabouts since. I see. What conclusions do you draw from all these circumstances? I have some theories, but I would prefer not to reveal them until events have unfolded. In all of them, there is a fundamental element whose role has not yet been revealed. And what leads you to this conclusion? It is something that the Holy Sisters found besides Herr DeVitt within the coffin. An empty hypodermic needle with traces of an unknown substance. And we start episode 4, Ancient Shadows. I'm sure this is the place. Alexander's house must be just ahead. The ancient castle of Pevensey rests in the distance. It was a garrison first built by the Romans, but was abandoned and has been a ruin ever since. We're just going to go this way. Alright then, let's go ahead and go over here. There's a large iron bar latching the door. Well, we can go ahead and open it. It's quite odd that the door was latched from the outside. But, let's go ahead and go inside. And it seems like it is way too dark in here. So let's go ahead and back out. It's latched. I can't open it from this side. Alright, well, what about over here? No one is answering. Perhaps I should go inside anyway. I'll just tell the household that I'm an old friend come to visit. The house lights are on. Someone must be home. Footsteps. There must be someone upstairs. What about this portrait over here? A strange woman stares down at me, glaring with a silent reproach at my intrusion. Alright, well, what about this clock? A well-crafted grandfather clock, but it seems to be out of order. One of the hands is missing. Oh dear. Oh, what's in here? It could be Pevensey Castle, but in this painting, the garrison is not in ruins. A couple of old teacups sit on the table. One of them is full and still warm. So it definitely seems like someone was here. What's in this direction? Just some old bottles. What about this? An oil lamp. Let's grab it. Boom. I see a little note over there, so let's go check it out. It's a diary. This is the last thing written. The last pages have been ripped off. October 12th, 1887. It's been a while, since I can't devote any time to this diary for reasons beyond my control. An event most tragic has taken place in this house. Mr. Dupree has gotten ill, immersed in an everlasting stupor from which, it seems, he shall not return anytime soon. Since the accident, I patiently take care of him. The doctor's treatments don't seem to do any good. I feed him like a child and make sure that all of the sculptures in the house are turned towards the wall. What else can I do? October 13th, 1887. The clockmaker just left. He has done such a good job. In the end, Mr. Dupree is not going to be able to notice the change in the clocks that he had so insistently requested. In his state, time will not be a problem anymore. This looks like the diary of a member of Alexander's household. What happened to them? What's over here? A pantry with spices and ingredients. Alright. Well, let's go out the door. Shouldn't be too bad. What about here? The cellar door is locked. I need a key to open it. Alright. Nothing doing? This probably is that latched gate. So, sounds like it anyway. What about this tree? The bare branches of the tree stretching into the sky break the night into 1,000 pieces. What about this well? An ancient stone well. A rope hangs inside, disappearing into the darkness below. The rope has broken. I'll keep this end. Dude, free rope, right? What about this? Ah, if you remember, that was where the boarding school was. It looks like the nurses dug him out. It looks like someone was buried here. I can't dig with my bare hands. Alright. So nothing doing, huh? Alright, let's go this way. Yep, takes us back around this way. So our investigations take us upstairs. It would definitely seem like the events of the last episode may have all been a dream of some sort. Who knows? But it would definitely seem like the events occur as the two doctors said they did. So, what happened in the unaccounted for time between episode 3, between episode 2 and episode 4? Who knows? The silhouette of a man. It bears a strong resemblance to Alexander. The silhouette of a woman. Well, let's go inside the room. Alexander! Let's see if we can talk to him. Alexander, it's me, David. I'm sorry if I startled you. Is everything alright? Why are you sitting in a wheelchair? Are you hurt? Maybe? Can you stand? He is staring blankly at some distant point, as if he has not heard my question at all. You told me I should come here, and I came as soon as I could. Can you tell me what is happening here? He gives no answer, but persistently stares at something nearby. He appears to be in some kind of hypnotic trance. When I was downstairs, I could have sworn I heard footsteps. Were they yours, or is there someone else in this house? For a moment, I felt a flash of hope that he was looking at me, but he is unresponsive. Alexander, please, say something. I don't know what to do. I don't understand. Just what has happened to him? And he looks miles away. So it seems like we can't talk to him. What about this picture over here? A misty dock overlooks a gray ocean. Gulls wheel overhead. Alright, well, what about this cuckoo clock? This cuckoo clock is covered with dust. It seems to be missing an important piece. The bird. And if we look at it, the clock face has been turned. And it reads 9, or no, not 9, 11:15. What about over here? There's a scribbled annotation in this piece of paper. The veil is something that we sense in our innermost being incessantly. In vain do we waste our lives craving to tear through. It is Zaliathal, the curtain behind which the great wings beat. Inside its ancient mist inhabit the shadows of those who left. Creepy. What about this? The table holds nothing but a box with the description, laudanum, to be taken in case of anxiety. It is empty. So is Alexander doped up on laudanum? Who knows? A fine painting of the local Roman structures. They somehow seem more ancient in this depiction. A figurine of an angel facing the wall. Certainly seems to be getting spooky. What about this? A portrait of an old man, maybe a ship captain. It looks like he's trying to guard this chest with his stern glare. Alright, what about the chest? A huge chest made of oak wood. There's a large iron hook inside. We'll take it. There was a fragment of a diary under the hook. August 5th, 1887. I can't work in this basement anymore. Those wretched sculptures, I feel them stalking me in the darkness. I know it's not possible, but I can hear the crunches, the flapping wings, stone grinding on stone. Their frozen paroxysms. With what diabolical art were those gestures conceived? An internal movement, a tension, an impossible struggle to get back the life they never had. I might place them outdoors in the greenhouse and let the mold devour them, and wasps make nest of their hollow hearts. Okay, kinda creepy, but hey, we got a rope and a hook, so let's grapple. Yes. What about in here? A camera tripod, and what looks to be pictures hanging from a cord. They look as if they were improperly developed. You can hardly distinguish anything. You can turn the faucet on too, I bet. Yes. Looks like some kind of red-tinted glass cover used to mask the lamp. It's completely shattered on the floor. And this picture is the image of a couple wearing rat masks at a festival. What about this? A glass jar containing a yellow substance. The label reads cyanide. And now we got a bottle of cyanide. And another note. It is a big book of home chemistry recipe. A few pages have been bookmarked and some articles are underlined. Collodion for photography. Collodion is the vehicle by which the photographic chemicals are united upon the surface of the glass and the sensitive coating produced. Many formulae are published for this article to which great value is attached, some proposing that to its particular composition belong the principal causes of failure or success. This is only in a degree true. To develop a positive image. This is done by pouring upon the plate about 1 ounce of the vitriol spirit solution, then only adding 5 or 6 drops of the cyanide acid. Then the plate must be thoroughly washed in water to remove any excess of the chemicals. The causes of failure. They would almost require a chapter by themselves. A long experience convinces us that 9 out of every 10 failures occur from a want of care, the presence of dirt, negligence. One cannot be over nice, careful, or cleanly. The best results are always rewarding the most painstaking. If a mistake is made in the order specified in the formulae, quickly flow clean water over the plaque and start again. So, we're probably going to have to clean a plaque or something. That's all we can do here, so let's... Oh wait, no, that's not all we can do in there. I forgot. If this is a photo room, we need to take the light bulb. Haha, I have a lamp. So there's one more room for us to explore in here. The study. A bust with its face turned around. A large envelope of black felt covered in dust and ashes. It is labeled with a warning. Do not open it under white light. What's it doing in the fireplace then? There's another photo here. It's a letter. Dear Alexander, I have excellent news. A contact from the university has given me access to a 12th century alchemical tome containing an amazing formulary. There is no doubt that, sometimes, mere contemplation takes the mind to places that, otherwise, it would have never visited. Leafing through the grimoire and marveling at the exquisite illumination of its pages, I have been struck by a sudden epiphany, a radical but elegant method that I have decided to try. Forgive me for not providing any information about the method itself. As soon as I get definite results, I will write to you immediately. I believe fortune has truly smiled upon us today. Venete ne esquia essia, June 8th, 1887. Weird. This seems an invoice. May this document serve as a record of the payment made corresponding the following work. The cuckoo clock mechanism has been modified to give the strokes exclusively at 6:15 in the afternoon. In addition, a special device and a switch have been added to synchronize all clocks in the house. So if we adjust one clock, it should change another. Picture of an angel with a gentle face. What about this bookshelf? The shelf is lined with strange and complex books. Some titles include The Movement of Shadows, Preserving the Mind, and Lessons Beyond Nature. Which is odd. Alright, so that's all we can do there for now. But we've got other places that we can go to. So let's go ahead and do that. Since we've got a hook, let's see if we can't get the bucket out of the well. Within the mud and dirt inside the bucket, there was a small bird of brass. Sweet. Strangely enough, there doesn't seem to be any water in the well. Well, we can continue on. Let's go here. Now that we have a light, we can go in here. The statue of an angel with its wings spread. Its head is missing. Statue of an angel covered in mold. It's glancing at me with a sad gesture. A jar of vitriol oil. I must be careful. It's a powerful acid. So I can pick that up. Let's get out of here. This pane looks as if it's been broken from the inside. So something tried to get out. And if you know anything about developing stuff, you know that we cannot do it in a normal room. We have to do it in a dark room. And so we need a special kind of light for that. Unfortunately, the red pane is broken. The corpse of a deer, its abdomen torn open. It looks recently dead. And this is probably one of the puzzles that I disagree with, because you had no idea that you had to come back out here. Now the bulb is grossly covered in blood. Yep. If you had no idea about that deer, you wouldn't be able to solve it. I think they should probably have made a sound effect indicate to go out into the woods, but... oh well. Let's go develop that photo. Shouldn't be any problem now. And now it's a red, and if you notice, the image has faded out. It's gone. Spooky. So we take the envelope, we put it in there, and then we put the vitriol. The oil has caused a strong acidic reaction, and then the cyanide. I've applied the liquids in the correct order. All that remains is to rinse the plate. An image is appearing on the plate. It's a photograph of Anthony and Alexander. Spooky. The sink now has a dark stain on its surface. The image is back in the frame. Haha! Alright. So now we have a photograph. We can take it to see if that stirs poor old Alexander. Alexander, do you recognize this photograph? Take a look. It's you and our old friend Anthony, and there's someone else blurred in the background. Who is the third figure? Does he mean something to you? The bird awaits. But he dropped something. It's a piece of clockwork, a hand. A little brass bird. When shaken, it makes a noise as if there was something inside. The bird fits perfectly. Alright. Now, if you remember, we have to get that to read 6:30, and all of the clocks are synchronized. We've got a clock hand, and this clock is busted. I've put the clock in the hand. I only need to set the clock to the correct time. Now, if all the clocks are synchronized, that means any changes that we put here change that one. So if we need to make it 6:30, oops. Did I do this wrong? Yeah, I probably did this wrong. Okay. Let's go this way. We're going to make it to be 3 o'clock. And that should get us the right time. The sound came from upstairs. Zalathiel! The bird has burst out at the stroke. Now its beak is open. There was a key inside the bird. And now he's talking. He's having some kind of seizure. He's trembling out of pure horror. The clock mechanism is definitely broken. So, he's having a seizure. We don't have anything else to give him. There's only one other place for us to go, and that's the cellar, which was locked. But now we have a key. I actually jumped. I got spooked by that. I forgot about that. Whew. Dusty carpet of Asian origin. Molten dust covered the portrait, making the subject indistinguishable. A piece of furniture has several drawers. Inside this one, there's a gardener's shovel. The cabinet has a large stain of mold due to the high humidity of this atmosphere. There are the remains of a Roman mosaic behind the wall. I can't distinguish anything clearly. An ancient statue in poor conditions. Old ruins, and seems that they were part of the Roman settlement. What's this? A book written in a language unknown to me. There's a scrawled annotation written in English on one of the margins. This, and no other, is the function of the serum we manufactured at the boarding school when we were young. It is something that we didn't understand at the time. To accompany the mind to the Pronicicium of the big theater, and there, help us to look beyond the curtain that separates the world of men from the land of truth. To look, I say, if anything, to apprehend an image of what lives there. Just that. Will the hopo allow us to raise the curtain enough to walk off the stage and go beyond? A huge cage full of leftovers and dirt. Animals have been captive here. Innumerable jars full of murky objects suspended in formaldehyde. Jars and test tubes. Everything is soaked in chemical residues, and the air is filled with the smell of vinegar. A bunch of dust-covered beakers with repulsive liquids. A few of them have developed fungi inside. Well, there's something beyond this desk, but we can't move it yet. So let's go ahead and dig them up. There's that grave. That angel statue. Did it move? So let's go find out what was buried. It's got a padlock. The rock is very rusted, almost shattered. Well, we've got a bottle of acid. We had a flashback, too, when the stooge knocked us out with his hammer. Besides the corpse, there's a paper leaf. Dear Alexander, undoubtedly your methods are definitely stronger than mine. How did you manage to get results with such alacrity? On another note, my epiphany with the treatise of alchemy was not accidental. When examining the text closer, I have come to the conclusion that, for a time, Raymundus Lully sought the same thing as we did. In his account, he describes a formula that he calls Hopo. Yes, like the legendary bird. It closely resembles the serum with which we have worked so far, except for minor differences. It's a pity what you tell me about old Mike. I hope he gets better soon. Vedete ne Esquia. July 2nd, 1887. The remains of a humanoid body, but with a grotesque animal aspect. Maybe a small ape? It has a collar with some engraved words on it. Old Mike. He tested it on a monkey? I mean, this is like Victorian England time, so quite possibly, yeah. Skeletal fingers of the creature clutching a rolled-up canvas. It's a map of the stars. Some kind of navigation map. Several constellations are marked. Well, that's all we can do here. So, let's go see if Alexander... Oh god, that sounds like Alexander! Let's see if he's done having a seizure. I know that's a horribly callous thing to say, but that's what the game wants us to do. Alexander! He's gone. There's a note in his chair. Whoa. Spooked ya. Some diary pages on the wheelchair. The paper is ripped apart, as if someone had stripped it from off the book hastily. October 31st, 1891. I'm writing this in the light of my desk lamp, hoping to be able to remember it all when the bird finally sings and the sun's blessing dispels the dark shadows of the mind. During the whole afternoon, a strong wind hit the valley, so strong that it has cracked the larger branch of the old oak in the garden. I find it hard to get sleep during these nights, so I read a lot while accompanying the professor. I don't really know when exactly I fell asleep. I was awakened by the chill of the night, which was seeping through the open window. I looked outside and saw him. The professor was miraculously awake. What was my joy to see him standing on the balcony, watching the valley with a true serene expression, enjoying the fresh and calm air right before the storm. I felt that a blessing had fallen upon this house, and for a moment, I felt immensely happy. I stared at him for a while without saying anything, being afraid of dispelling a vision I hadn't believed possible for a long time. And then, in the midst of a silence, I heard a sound that froze me in my seat and snatched all calmness with such a terrible chill that I will never forget. A loud noise behind me, a low-pitched as the drag of a slab, Mr. Alexander's snore, who was pleasantly sleeping in his bed. I've already made a decision. I'll leave this house. Ah, what was this? It's a statue, holding something. It's a lens mounted in a metal ring. Can we use it at the night sky? Look at it. There's some strange symbols marked on the surface. Okay. Well. Well, the only other thing that we can do now is go back into the workshop. So let's go ahead and do that. What was that? And the desk has been moved. This is a mountain of compacted snow. What about over here? A wooden secretary desk, beautifully carved. The flip top has no knob or lock, just some strange symbols. There's a note down here as well. An open envelope with a letter inside it. Dear Alexander, I'm terribly sorry about old Mike. Will you put him to rest in his favorite place? After weeks of unsuccessful attempts, I've managed to distill the alchemical formula based on the notes you sent me. Certainly you're a master of this craft. The subject reacted to the serum as usual, rapidly entering into a state of waking sleep. Suddenly the convulsions stopped, and since then, he's not been responding to any kind of stimulation. He has remained in this state for many days. My diagnosis is brain dead. Which should be our next step, Alexander? I'm worried this could be the end of our research. August 23rd, 1887. There's a lens right here, too. Not a lens. Alright. Let's go ahead and put the crystal on the telescope. Some kind of navigation map. Several constellations are marked. No, I think this is not the triangle I'm looking for. Okay. Give me the triangle. Okay. I think I can find it. Okay, how am I not doing this correctly? There we go. Correct. This is the summer triangle. Okay. So, can we mess with this now? Yes, we can. So we gotta match those symbols. Like that. There's a small cabinet with 2 slots for syringes. Only one of them remains. The voice again. It comes from the bottom of the pit. Let's look at this syringe. An empty hypodermic needle. Alexander! Alexander! A variety of surgical instruments and some jars with chemicals in them. There's a chair in the middle of the room. And we can leave, go back down. Well, if you remember that one thing that happened, he seemed to give us something. So, is this what you asked me to search for? Is it not, Alexander? Am I right? The last door. Xylotheol. The last door. We can cross together. What should I do? I'm waiting for you. Here, in the midst. It's nearby. I can hear it. What is nearby? What do you hear? I hear the beating of its wings. It knows we are afraid. I am ready. Sit down. So we're gonna sit down. We can give him the syringe. Do you think that we will find any clue here about David's whereabouts? The police must have taken almost everything, but we have no other leads to pursue. Hopefully they will have overlooked something. What about this room? There's a sealed letter between the table and the wall. It looks like Herr Beechworth never sent it. I think it is best that you read it. Dearest Alexandra, please, you must reflect on this. We do not yet know what we are dealing with. If you were to open the door, it may stay that way. An open way for whatever lives on the other side. Vendente ne esquiat. Even more questions. And that wraps up Season 1 of The Last Door. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I certainly did too. Unfortunately, we still did not get any real solid definite answers as to what's going on, only further mystery. But it looks like the mystery has swallowed DeVitt whole. The only people who can help him now are the two doctors desperately looking to find him before something horrible happens to him. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And maybe we'll see each other again in Season 2. Bye, everyone.